Child, the foolery, the fuckery just never stops with these old women over here on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Child, let's talk a little bit about last night's episode. It was season 11, episode 10, The Wrong Road. Child, we open up, we see this big argument going on between Kandi and Porsha at the hibachi party thrown by Tanya. Then we go back 1 week earlier. Now, over at the Candy Coated Factory, we got Don Juan, Karma, the crew, Todd, everybody there discussing what happened at Todd's birthday party a couple days prior to. Over on the other side of town, you got Porsha. I think that was Lauren and Dennis, and she saying that Kandi invited her to Todd's party. She and Dennis went. She get there, some girl circling her, and then she figured it was Dennis' ex-girlfriend because she was with Jamie. Now she telling Lauren and Dennis, like I said, they sitting there talking about this. Back at the Candy Coated clique, Kandi admits Dennis' ex was there, but they saying Dennis touched the girl's arm, the girl hugged him, and Porsha appeared out of nowhere and said old girl tried to kiss him, and he refused it. Porsha asked why was she there, and old girl simply walked away, and Porsha wasn't having it. It looked like it was some bullshit, because if you invited this girl to the party, why would Jamie bring the ex-girlfriend there? Now, Jamie, I understand, works for Kandi, so she probably would be invited, but why would you bring that ex-girlfriend there? See, it appeared like something was going on, and maybe even a setup. Porsha caught on, tried to talk about it. Old girl didn't want to talk. Porsha got upset, and they left. Upon trying to exit the building, one of the cliques came through and acted as if they was putting the girl out. Porsha said she did tell Kandi at the event what was going on. She said Kandi didn't really pay her much attention. She did apologize, but she hasn't heard a word from her since then. Then, out of nowhere, here comes the blogs with the story. And Kandi claims she wasn't aware it even made it to the blog. But what they basically was saying at the Candy Coated clique was that Porsha was drunk, and they know she started it. She was the aggressor. But we know, because Porsha pregnant, Porsha wasn't drunk. Porsha seemed like she peeped game. Kandi say Porsha should have taken her anger out on Dennis, not that girl, because Dennis is the one they so-called saying is still texting and communicating with the girl. But Porsha on her side of town is saying it felt like it was a setup from the jump. Y'all tell me, based off what you've seen, what you think. Do you think that girl set Porsha up? I don't know. Now, over at Lake Bailey, Cynthia trying to call Noelle and she ain't answering, and Cynthia word. Mallory reminded her, girl, she young and in college. We also learned that Mike Hill, Cynthia's new boo, is on the way, and unlike in past times when he's come to town, he stayed over his mama house. He actually gonna be staying over at the Bailey Lake, baby, at Lake Bailey, and all up in Cynthia's stuff. We learned that they've been dating 5 months, and he obviously seems to like her. However, he said that he wanted to ask her something the next time they got together, and she don't know if it's he want to break up or he want to ask her to marry him. Now she say she said she never wanted to do that again, but this man got her flying so high. If he was to ask her to marry him, she would definitely say yes. And I said, see, why y'all got Cynthia looking like I understand she giddy and happy that she got her own nasty piece of man again, and he obviously laying it down to her the way she needs him to do so. But why y'all always making it look like she just this naive, goofy-ass schoolgirl? And why do we have to hear about how much sex Cynthia having with this man? Now, I ain't no hater. I want her to get it all. But my point is, why we keep hearing about that? Anyway, we see old Peter Thomas, child. Mr. I'll never be on that show again, live. And he was on the show because he go to visit Nene and Gregg. Apparently, Peter is close to still to Nene and Gregg, and he really wanted to check on Gregg and see how he doing. And they talk about how well Gregg looked, and we learned that he going back into the hospital soon for a removal of a colostomy bag now that his colon has healed. They move into talking about Porsha being put out of Todd's and Candy party, and you know the shade, child. It's a shady place. Anyway, they talk about Noelle going off to college and how she and Noelle, Cynthia and Noelle was all emotional. Then Nene says Cynthia dating somebody and brings up Mike. Nene asks Peter if he knew of Mike since he's a sports fan, and of course he go to shade. I watch ESPN, not Fox Sports. I said, bitch, the shade. I hollered. That was funny. Again, Peter is the one for it, baby. That's that peach that was never given but should have always been given. It was nice to see Peter on this episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, though. I ain't gonna lie. Now, even Mike go to visit Tanya and Paul. We find out that Paul and Mike know each other from college. So they sit down and have a few drinks, and they laugh about Yolonda's foolery about when she flipped out at the Boobs and Bourbon event, talking about she was that bitch on the campus and nobody knew her. Then they move into, the walk-off, where Tanya had made Nene feel some kind of way because she was saying that she got her stuff at Swags, but Nene must have felt like the girl was, I didn't see this episode, so I can't give y'all much on it, but Nene must have felt like the girl was saying that her quality of her stuff is not as good as some of these bigger designers, and it's not. So why was she upset? Then Eva said, well, girl, this is a sensitive bunch because they came for me about Nene not being invited to my bachelorette party, but we want to work things out. So they come up with the idea to have a hibachi party. And at the hibachi party, they're going to talk to the girls about possibly taking a trip out of the country. So, hoping that would bring some calm to this storm that seems to have been brewing since both of them made their comments to Nene. They want to make things right. Now, we see Mike arriving over at Lake Bailey. Cynthia is all smiles and kisses. We learned that they screwed on the counter, which we did need to know. Again, like I said, they always making her seem like she's just a thirst bucket. And Cynthia is one of the most beautiful women in the world. And although she may be smitten by this man, it's more to it than just that. It's more he's bringing to her life than just that. But anyway, so clearly, she wants to know what that question is, because she want to know, is this a breakup type of thing before she introduce him to any of her friends and her sister? What is it that you want to talk about? Child, he told her that he wanted to make it official. He asked her to be his lady, and of course she accepted. Now, over at Shamari and Ronnie, we see them going to see this couple marriage counselors that they talk with from time to time. They check in with them twice a month, according to Shamari, and she actually found them on a message board during a time when she and Ronnie were having some type of issues with one another. They discuss her feeling bored and lonely when Ronnie is out on the road with the group and touring. She admits she wants to tour and get back into the music as well, but at the same time, she knows how important it is for her to be at home with her kids since she grew up with a mom that worked a lot. She said her and Candy both have toddlers, but she can't fathom the idea of being away from her children for days on end. So I guess she gonna figure out how she gonna make that work. Now we see Shamia, Cynthia, and Nene go over to visit Porsha, who is feeding her face on some pizza, child. She wants to tell them the truth about what happened because she know everything is out in the blogs, and she wants them to know exactly her point of view, the truth, according to her, about what happened. Porsha tells them that one of Candy workers, Jamie, was circling her, and Karma came up with this girl, Sherry. She walks up to Dennis, Porsha realized that was Candy's, that was the girl Candy had been bringing up when they had been around each other, and she asked her why was she over there with them. Porsha said she told Candy the girl was starting and trying to get them kicked out. Candy supposedly apologized according to Porsha, but did nothing and hasn't called Porsha since then. Porsha said the thing is, the longer Candy don't reach out to me, the more it does look like a setup. Nene agreed it does look fucked up, especially since Candy has not bothered to reach out to her. Nene knew, but they are all so happy when Porsha announces that she's pregnant. Now, Cynthia said in the confessional, Porsha went there knowing that she was pregnant. Everybody else might not have known, but she knew. So why would she place herself in that position? She tells Porsha, I'm going to talk with Candy about this because this don't sound right. Now, they preparing for Tanya hibachi party. Eva arrives to help her get it together. Shamari arrives next. She's happy and ready to party. Candy arrives next and is greeted next to Cynthia. She is greeted as well, and they are all taken out back for drinks and whatnot. Candy says Porsha unfollowed her and deleted her pics off of Instagram, and she don't know why. Cynthia said, I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to talk to you about it. Because Porsha says she and Dennis came and Jamie and Sherry actually started it up. Candy say Porsha petty and she supposedly was walking up behind that girl, and that's when Nene came in. So Nene picked it up and said, look, Porsha said Candy didn't call to check on her. Candy was over there making them faces like she didn't want to hear it, and Nene said she don't know. She just passing it on the way it was given to her. Porsha gonna have to deal with this on her own. So Candy says she knowing Porsha, with them knowing Porsha, do they think that she actually saw Dennis' ex and just walked up friendly and asked to talk to girl? Well, considering she's pregnant, I would give her the benefit of the doubt and say that she would. So basically, Candy said Porsha was following up behind the girl trying to start. So afterwards, she felt that she wasn't for the drama with Porsha and not knowing how to act in public and whatnot. Plus, her concern at the party was simply her husband having a good time considering the money she spent on the party. She felt Porsha should call her to apologize for causing a scene, opposed to her calling Porsha to get tea and find out what happened and address it accordingly. Porsha arrives and Tanya asks her, look, do you want a shot before you go out there? Porsha said, no, but I'm hungry. She goes out to greet everybody and asks what's up since Tanya said she may need a drink. Eva said she didn't know that things were as deep as it is between Candy and Porsha. And she is concerned because, see, this gathering was to invite the ladies on a trip out the country. Girl, you ain't got to worry about this. Is the yearly trip these women take every season. Y'all going, child, whatever. Candy asked Porsha about what she did to her. And, Porsha said she seemed upset already, but she gonna go on and have this conversation. Porsha said she explained her side of the story. I ain't rehashing all of that. She also said she felt like Candy could have called her. Well, Candy said she felt like since you were the aggressor, you would have called me. Porsha said she wasn't the aggressor and she not the one that needed to call. Porsha says she said Candy, not her friend, and not even someone trying to work on having a friendship, and she just simply regrets she came to the party. Candy said Porsha needs to realize she's got too much to lose to be cutting a fool every time something happens. She needs to learn some damn self-control. Now, Cynthia said in confessional, Candy don't know what Porsha pregnant, but she does, so she should calm down some. Porsha said, clearly the factory does what they want and disrespects who they want, and it's cool, but because Candy wasn't even over there, and she don't know what happened. Next thing I know, Candy say Porsha is the aggressor that's not trying to play victim, and Porsha says she's nobody's victim, bitch. It escalated, and Candy said she gonna leave. Porsha called Candy fake. She said Candy said, well, you were the aggressor. Porsha said, if someone did something to Todd, you'd be livid, Candy. Porsha needs to learn to control herself is what Candy said. And child, they was going back and forth, and then eventually it cut off, and we gonna get the rest of this next week. Now let me just tell you right quick how I feel about this. If in fact Porsha got to that party and this ex showed up, and this ex was trying to be a little bit too friendly toward her man, I feel like Porsha had a right to be upset. I also feel like if Porsha went to Candy when this was happening and told her what was going on, Candy should have addressed it. I don't give a damn if you spent thousands of dollars on this party and you was concerned about your husband. You also have to take care of your guests. You invited this girl, and because of your lack of concern for what really went down, it seemed like it was a setup and you knew about it all along. See, this is why you need to stay out of that girl's personal affairs. If this had been before the Phaedra shit, it probably would have been alright for you and Candy to discuss personal things like this. But considering the contention that now lies between the two of you, neither one of y'all should be talking to each other about the personal. And Candy, you have done that this entire season. You are stuck on Dennis and what he got going on. If he is a whore who likes to go around getting girls' names tattooed on him shortly after meeting him, and Porsha happy with that man, mind your business. But I know for the show's sake, you got to have some type of drama. That's why you haven't minded your business. But if you really wanted to be righteous in this situation, you should have listened to Porsha's side. You should have listened to your people's side and dealt with that like a boss that you say you are. But to continuously poke, and I'm alright with Candy. I ain't got no problem with her. Y'all know I'm VIP at Keep Bedroom Candy. But I call shit like I see it. This was messy. Y'all already have been talking about this girl man all along. For this man's ex to show up at your party, you knew something about it. And you knew how Porsha would respond to that if this girl came out of a bag on her or tried to disrespect her. When she went to you and told you there was a problem at the party, I don't give a damn what you was not so busy that you couldn't take a moment and look at it and find out what was going on and bring calm before it escalated to what it was and ended up on the blogs. So in the book of my mind, Candy's playing a game here. And it's a game that she plays all the time. She won't do the dirt, but she'll let her people do the dirt. And once they do the dirt, she can claim, oh, I didn't know anything about it, or I didn't have anything to do with that. That's what I'm getting out of that. Now, maybe I'm wrong, and feel free down in the panic to let me know it. You can tell me, as long as you do it respectfully. But that's how I see it. And that's all I have to say about that. Y'all remember the depth of y'all struggle will determine the height of your success. In the meantime, in between time, please remember to rate the video. Rating gets me recognized on these YT streets. Comment down in the panic section. Let me know what you see. Because I want you to have an opposing opinion. Help me see it a different way. Because right now it's just like Candy and her crew being messy again. Subscribe to the channel for the free 99. Hit your notification bell button so that each and every time I come down on these YT streets and drop a pre-recorded video or go live from this channel, you will be notified. And, child, I will see y'all next. I'm going to go and peep out what happened with the 90-Day Fiancé tell-all, and we're going to talk about that. That's the next video. Y'all have a great remainder to your Monday. Tomorrow is my date with Ben. I may be absent on the YT streets, but I will return on Wednesday to talk about the haves and have-nots and possibly the 90-Day Fiancé tell-all if I'm not able to get it out today. So y'all have a good one. Peace.